Hi, and welcome to Cenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
You know, we usually think of our physical health and our mental health as two totally separate things, right? But what if I told you they're actually locked in this constant, deep conversation? That's exactly what we're diving into today. The gut-brain axis. It's this hidden communication network that has this incredible power to link your mood and your thoughts to the world that's living inside your gut.
I mean, we all use these phrases, don't we? You get a gut feeling about a big decision, or you get butterflies in your stomach before a big presentation. Well, it turns out that's way more than just a metaphor. It's a real biological thing happening inside of you, and it's our doorway into one of the most exciting new frontiers in medicine.
So, what is the gut-brain axis really? Okay, think of it like a non-stop, two-way highway for chemical messages. Your brain can absolutely send signals down to your gut and affect your digestion. We've all felt that. But here's the part that is just mind-blowing. The trillions of microbes living in your gut are also sending signals back up to your brain, and they're influencing everything from your mood to your stress levels to maybe even your thoughts.
But how does this conversation actually happen? I mean, how do they talk? Well, it's not magic, it's just pure biology. The gut and the brain are linked by this incredibly complex superhighway, and we're about to explore the three main routes, the three main communication lanes that carry all these critical messages back and forth.
So this biological superhighway has three main routes. First, we're going to look at how your gut can directly plug into your body's main stress response system. Then we'll check out how it communicates through your immune system and inflammation. And finally, we'll explore the absolutely incredible chemical factory in your gut that's literally making compounds that speak your brain's language.
All right, first up, the stress axis. Your gut microbes can directly mess with your body's main fight-or-flight system. It's called the HPA axis, and it's the thing that controls the release of the famous stress hormone, cortisol. Now get this, if your gut lining becomes more permeable, what some people call a leaky gut, it can actually turn up the volume on your body's stress response. So an unhealthy gut can literally make you feel more stressed out.
Okay, the second pathway runs right through your immune system. I want you to think of your gut microbes as little drill sergeants for your immune cells. They're constantly training them, teaching them what's a friend and what's an enemy. But when your gut bacteria get out of balance, they can trigger inflammation. And this isn't just a local problem in your gut. These inflammatory signals can travel all the way through your bloodstream, cross into the brain, and start contributing to changes in your mood and even how clearly you think.
And that brings us to the third pathway, which is maybe the most direct of all. Your gut microbes are basically tiny chemical factories. It's amazing. They take the fiber you eat and they turn it into these compounds called short-chain fatty acids, which then literally go and strengthen the protective barrier around your brain. They can even produce or influence the creation of key neurotransmitters you've definitely heard of, like serotonin and dopamine. It's an absolutely incredible process.
So, we've laid out the communication lines. We know how they talk. Now let's get a little more specific. What are scientists actually finding when they look at the connection between particular microbes and our mental health?
Well, as you can see here, researchers are really starting to map out these connections. For instance, they've seen that levels of bacteria like Coprococcus and Dialister look different in people who have mood disorders. But I really want you to notice the language here, the wording in that last column, promising lead, variable results. That phrasing is extremely deliberate and it's really, really important.
And that brings us to what might be the most crucial point in all of this science. Just because two things are connected, it does not mean one caused the other. Finding lower levels of a certain bacteria in people with anxiety, for example, is a super important clue, but it doesn't prove that the lack of that bacteria caused the anxiety. This whole field is still pretty young, and the biggest job for researchers right now is to go from just seeing these links to actually proving cause and effect.
Okay, that was a lot of science, I know. So the big question is, what can you actually do with all this information? Let's switch gears and get really practical. Let's look at some evidence-aligned steps you can take to support a healthy gut-brain connection.
When it comes to your diet, the basics are pretty clear. Your gut microbes absolutely love a diverse range of plant fiber. They also love prebiotics, which you can think of as fertilizer for your good bacteria, and fermented foods that can add some beneficial microbes into the mix. On the flip side, things like ultra-processed foods, tons of added sugar, and of course the unnecessary use of antibiotics can really throw this delicate little ecosystem off balance.
So what about probiotics? Well, they definitely show promise, but let's be super clear. They are not a magic pill for mental health. The effects are incredibly specific to the strain of bacteria. That means one type of lactobacillus might have an effect, while a different one does absolutely nothing. So if you're looking at supplements, that specific strain name on the label really matters. And always remember, they're a potential addition to your toolkit, not a replacement for professional mental health care.
And you know, it's so critical to remember that your diet is only one piece of this whole puzzle. Your microbiome is influenced by your entire lifestyle. I'm talking about getting enough sleep, staying active, and finding ways to manage your stress. These are all incredibly powerful levers you can pull to support both your gut and your brain.
This field is moving so incredibly fast. So, to wrap things up, let's take a look ahead. Where is all this science going, and what might the future of gut-brain health actually look like?
The science here is really growing up. As the slide says, the field is shifting from observational work to controlled interventions. What that means is that researchers are moving beyond just finding links. They're now designing these super rigorous studies to prove if specific dietary changes or specific probiotics can be used as targeted treatments. It's a huge and very exciting shift.
So what's on the horizon? The biggest trend, by far, is personalization. The whole idea of a one-size-fits-all probiotic is probably on its way out. The future is all about interventions that are tailored to your unique individual microbiome. We're also seeing a lot more focus on combining these therapies with existing treatments and on studying adolescence, since that's such a critical time for the gut-brain axis to develop.
And hey, if you do decide to make some of these lifestyle changes, it's really important to have realistic expectations. Even though your gut microbes can start to shift in just a few days, it could take 8 to 12 weeks of being really consistent before you might notice any potential effects on your mood. Patience and consistency are everything.
So, we end right back where we started, with a really big question. Is the key to our mental wellness hiding in our gut? And while it's definitely not the only key, the science is making it crystal clear that our gut is a profoundly powerful and, for a long time, overlooked player in our mental health story. Understanding this hidden conversation is truly opening up a whole new frontier in human wellness.
Thank you for watching Cenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit Cenario.com. See you in the next one.